happy Sunday. Welcome to my channel today. Thank you so much for tuning in. This video is up just a little tad bit late today. It was a busy weekend. So but anyway, here we are. Today's video is all about Chinelo Bally's freehand fashion and the first item that I have sewn out of this book. So the first thing, let me start out first with a couple reminders. Well, let me share with you what I'm wearing. I am wearing the AK Patterns Kimberly dress, and this is with the modesty panel added. If you saw that video, it's the Minerva.com Maker's Team make that I had, and so I talked about the fabric and all of that in that video, so I will link that up above so you can go check that out if you are interested. Second thing is, don't forget, coming this Wednesday, September 18th, is the last day that the 20% off from Mrs. H Patterns, that you'll have the opportunity to use that. Now, if you have not seen that video, and there's some other goodies in that video, but if you have not seen that video, go back to that video. I'll also link that up above. I revealed the purse that I made for my mother, and I'll talk about her reactions to that, which were good. And then yeah, so that is it. And besides, football season is in, and you all know I'm a Green Bay Packers fan, so yes, we have a game at noon. So anyway, let me get into this video. All right, so I did have a couple questions last week when I was talking about my Sunday videos and doing blocks on what I want to share about the block. So for those who asked and who may have not seen the comment that I left, is I have created my blocks using the Pattern Lab. I tested both the Bootstrap and Pattern Lab. I won't go into that, but that's how I created my block. I will leave the link to that video if you want to, if you're interested in Bootstrap patterns, creating your block, or Pattern Lab patterns to create your block. And there are some awesome comments as well in that video with some additional resources, so go back and watch that video. So this first Sunday out of the Chinelo Bally, and I will also try to pop up pictures too where I can, I decided for the next, I think it's 4 projects I picked out of this book. Now each project will be revealed based on whether I can find the fabric that I'm looking for. So that's why I'm not telling you in advance what I'm doing, because if I think I have enough fabric to make it, because I'm trying to use as much as I can for my stash, but if I don't have enough to make it, then I have to switch and run to Joann's or something like that to get my fabric. Hence what happened this week. So let's get into what this week's project is. It is the Batwing top. As you can see there, I was interested in doing the more short sleeve version that you can see here. That is the version I was looking to doing, and so let's get into how it went. So now one of the things I have learned, at least for this first project, is not that that you use your block and like you're putting your block on the fabric and then taking the measurements and going through the directions. It's more so the measurements you use to create your block are the measurements you're using to measure on the actual fabric. And so while I did not catch the episodes that she was on for the sewing bee at all, I do understand that that was her strong point, being able to just go off a fabric and create something directly from fabric just using measurements. And so that is what at least this first project is all about. I'm still diving in to some of the other projects, but essentially for this project you do need your bust, waist, hip, and then your nape to sleeve hem measurement. And so so in going through this, obviously I'm not going to walk you step by step how to do it, because that is in the book, and the book is pretty self-explanatory. However, what I will share with you are some of the adjustments that I had to make, and some of the things that I figured out in doing the top. And so here is the top here. I was intending on using a different fabric in my stash, but learned that I did not have enough fabric to do the top in the fabric I had in my stash. So I went to Joann's, actually looking. You all know my color palette for fall winter is kind of this wine, this some pinky mauves, different things like that. So I saw this. I went in with the intention of like a brown or a rust color, but as soon as I got into Joann Fabrics, this just popped out at me. Look at this. Isn't this pretty? So pretty. It's a leafy velvet. It's so pretty, and I just couldn't, as much as I tried to go look for the fabric I was intending on getting, I couldn't take my eyes off of this. And I said, just do it in this. And so it's a stretch velvet, and it's a leafy stretch. Can you tell the leaves pattern in there? And I'll be popping up pictures, but I want to share with you some of the adjustments I had to make, because you will notice, and I'm getting ready to show some footage here shortly, that how it initially came out and then what I had to do to kind of adjust things to bring it back in to what was comfortable for me. So let me go ahead and drop those couple clips in here, and I will be right back. Okay, so I am showing here, you do some tacking your stitches to the various points on the fabric as it's laid out flat, and you're measuring from the center point over to those points as she describes in the book. And so once all of that is in, I wanted to just show how that looks. I just did that with a, as you can see, yellow thread, and just tacked it all the way through, and this is how it turned out. The first look, okay, yeah, way too much fabric, and my fan is on, so it's doing some extra blowing there, but yeah, and it's a little long. I'm thinking about cutting it off there. As you can see from the back, let me get myself adjusted here. You just, it's too much. It is just too much fabric. And I measured, as you can see, from my shoulder all the way down to my sleeve hem, and this is where it hit me. Is just too much. That's too much fabric. I can actually see this in a dress, but not in the top. And then there's a little bit of bunching going on there. I think what I found later is that the bra that I had on, I was wearing the sports bra when I was trying this on. So I went back in excuse me, and measured 2 inches from the original seam, and I pinned 2 inches all the way up to where I wanted it to go, and then went out as far as I wanted my sleeve to go, and then I went ahead and cut all of that off. I measured from my shoulder seam to where I wanted the sleeve to stop, and then I'm going back through and I'm cutting off all of that excess fabric. And here you can see that's where I cut everything off. And here is the final look after I cut everything off. I haven't quite hemmed it up yet, but I chopped a bunch off. You'll see in the pictures how it looks once, you know, I re-hemmed everything. Now the length I'm feeling pretty fine about. Yeah, I like this much better. It doesn't look so voluminous and so much on me. Again, I think I was debating here if I still want to cut it off. There was that bunching on the side, but again, with the bra and everything, that'll lay much better. Hopefully you'll be able to tell. But anyway, so that is the final look. Okay, so you see kind of what happened. And so, okay, so let me just start with a couple things. Realizing in going through this process, I needed to take into consideration, now it says nape to sleeve hem. Well, that sleeve, as you can tell, went down that far on me based on my measurements, but I don't particularly like So I didn't like the Batwing look on me, where it was so full. And you saw how it kind of went down to the side. I did not like it. It was just too much for me. And so what as you can tell, what I decided to do was really cut off quite a bit of that, and I wanted the sleeves much shorter so it doesn't angle down quite like the picture. See how this starts here and then angles down? Mine just kind of goes in t-shirt more like, and then goes down, but you still have a little bit of the flare on the sides. So I still have that, but that is what was more comfortable for me. And I was sharing with that bust area. What I did not take in consideration, because I was just in the zone trying to figure this out, is I had on a sports bra with that, so it looked like it was having the bra that I had on was looking like it had some pulling and everything, or extra fabric up at the top. And so with the right bra, that wouldn't necessarily hang like that, but that is why that was looking like that. But so what I had to do was remeasure my nape down to pretty much where I wanted my sleeve to stop. And either I like sleeves to be this length or a little higher, or I like sleeveless. One of those three variations. Very few tops I make go to my elbow or even all the way down, because 9 times out of 10 I'm always pushing my sleeves up. So it's either best to be sleeveless, a little almost cap sleeve like, or right here. For the most part is how I like for my tops to fit. Now the other thing, now you all can share with me, let me know your thoughts. So when I did the measurement down to my hip, I feel like this looks a little long on me. However, I was thinking, depending on what I wear it with, I wouldn't mind that length. So I wore it with some black slacks in the pictures that you'll see popping up here. And it looked fine with that. But I was like, so if I wanted to really be casual with this top, I can throw on some leggings with it and it will look perfectly fine, with some maybe flat sandals. So I was thinking that maybe I can have the option of dressing it up or dressing it down. Let me know what you think. Because the other thing I was considering was chopping probably, I think I showed it in the video, maybe 4 inches, no more than that, probably 10 inches off. But then I was like, I don't know. So I'm thinking about just leaving it. You'll have to let me know what you think, but I absolutely love this fabric and it turned out really nice. And this was my first time doing something where I just took my measurements on the fabric and went from there to create the top. So the instructions I found to be, for the most part, pretty self-explanatory. Again, you have to take in consideration the measurement that she's asking you to take. So the one where it said from the neck to the sleeve hem, it wasn't until after the fact that I realized, no, I don't want my sleeve that long. I would want it much shorter. So I could have took initially, which I went back and did, took the measurement from here, from my shoulder down to about where I wanted to hit for the type of sleeve that I want, and then tapered it in from there. What is the other thing? She does talk about project variation that you can do. So the teal version is like super full, super full. Look at that. That is super full. Now I don't see me doing that super full version. I can see doing this version again, but in a dress. That will be so pretty. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, her measurements did, the book did mention that you can lengthen this into a dress, which is, obviously you can tell that you can use more fabric and just continue to lengthen this to a different length to make it actually a dress. Overall, I would say it was how many steps? It was a total of 8 steps. So not bad at all. And you do have to be very careful, if you saw in the clips that I shared, when you're tacking those seams down, when you're going up the side where you will sew, you have to be very careful and make sure your fabric is laying flat is not disjointed or moving around or anything like that, because you don't want that to look all wonky on you. And so I was being very careful, making sure everything was laid out just right. And so yeah, that is pretty much all that I have to say for this. My measurements for my bust here is 51, waist 45, and hip 52.5. And so I forget what my measurement was from here to where I like my sleeve to hip. But just know, if you do have this book and you do decide to do the Batwing top, take the measurement where you would want it to stop, and then your measurement where you would want the hem to end. And so for me, I think what I did, why it's a little too long, is that I added, when I went back, I added a couple of my measurements incorrectly. So that is all on me, has nothing to do with the book, because the book is telling you to use your measurements. And so one of my measurements, I think I was looking at two different, because I have a couple different sheets with my measurements on it, and I just was looking at the wrong thing at the time. But you know, like I said, I can either shorten it or leave it, because I'm thinking if I have skinny jeans or leggings or something like that, and I never had skinny jeans, so I don't know why I said that, but you know what I'm saying. Depending on the look, the longer version would look totally fine. So that is my review for the first project I am doing out of the book. Stay tuned, because I will do another look. Again, I'm going through my fabric, and I might have to go back to Joann's again, because I'm thinking the fabric I was thinking for the next project might not work, but we shall see. And also coming up on Wednesday, make sure you stay tuned, because I will be sharing my husband's Quadra jeans by Thread Theory for the Soul Man, my Soul Man pants reveal. And so, well, one of my Soul Man pants reveal. So that is it. That's all I have for you today. I hope if you do have this book and you picked it up, that you will take a chance and reach for it and just go for it. Because this first one, I chose this on purpose because it seemed pretty straightforward and to the point, and it really was. It really was. And so yeah, now it's time to get kind of in more of the more complicated projects. So we'll see. I will share with you next week how my next project goes. Make sure you stay tuned. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And yeah, stay tuned for Wednesday, and don't forget to take advantage of that 20% off coupon from Mrs. H Patterns. Again, the link to that video is in the iCards. Thank you everybody for tuning in. You all have a fantastic and wonderful, wonderful week. Bye.